I can't. I honestly can't.
It was a great attempt.
A great 2 seconds right there.
we did it. That's all that matters. Anyway, welcome in everyone to Hamburg, to our LAN Live event, the main event of the Garrison Community Cup. I am joined here by Whammon today. My name is Askalat, and well, we already have our first match going on because we're super late.
Well, super late. The show starts when we're ready. So guys, we are here right on time, but we're already in game. And ladies and gentlemen, we have already a Delhi scholar being under duress. That poor man is begging for his life, but there's no way getting out. And it looks like Valdemar, yeah, he's already out for blood.
Yeah, we've got the Byzantine versus Delhi matchup. Let's see what those Ghazi are up to. We've got the Dome, of course, and we do have a winery, if I'm seeing it correctly. Yeah, Valdemar versus Beasty. We do have a clear favorite, but let's see what Valdemar can be cooking here. Ghazis, though, are on his backside and knocking on the gold.
Well, with Beasty's little scholars, you know, with Delhi, you need to get that map control. And even though we've missed a little bit of this game, we can definitely see that these scholars are trying to find their home. But Valdemar is doing what Byzantines has been doing pretty well, and that's overwhelming units. Now, Beasty, we do see that army count looking pretty even, but that can be very, very deceiving, as we know that Delhi's army includes those scholars. So these Ghazi raiders want to keep Valdemar busy while his army is knocking at Beasty's door as well. The scouts will spot this attack, though.
Yeah. Good job by Valdemar, too. He just decapped 2 sacred sites that Beasty initially took right after the 8-minute mark there. And we do have the slow infantry comp for Byzantine, though. Beasty, though, much more mobile with his Ghazi raiders on the way. His archers are already out moving on the map. And we do have Valdemar trying to apply some pressure here, but he needs to pay attention that he does not overextend. So Limitenay and the javelin throwers are very defensible. First Vil goes down right there. Second one sniped. Very nicely played there. And now he's gonna retreat as to not get caught out. Where is Limitenay?
Now, Limitenay, those things are fierce, especially when your archers are barely going to tickle them. Now, those javelin thrower numbers, they are quite scary. As you can see, Limitenays, they're scaring off these Ghazis. They're trying to get a little bit closer. Limitenay already having their shields up, so they do run a little bit slower, but
yeah, Beasty needs to retreat here. He cannot take this fight, realizes immediately. Archers are retreating because they would be just knocked out. Oh, a little bit of a rally mistake there, though. And the Ghazi are already back on the way to Valdemar's base and catching out reinforcements.
And I guess that's what Beasty knows he needs to do. When you're in a situation where you know your opponent's army is bigger, you want to find a way to engage them and keep them busy. And that's exactly what he's doing. Running all the way to the back here to make sure that Valdemar needs to retreat, pull back, and do something about it. Now you see that poor little tower under duress, but the Limitenay are here to assist. Valdemar target firing that low HP one doesn't get to take it down. But Beasty is not going to let that chief run into another tower anytime soon.
Yeah, nice pressure applied there, and Valdemar realizes he needs to respond. That's the issue with his army. He always needs to move his slow units around. Ghazi are already back on the way towards the tower. Let's see if there's any reinforcements. No, needs to garrison again. Needs to send some units, otherwise the Ghazi will take this down. And Beasty is also already moving out on the map, so I don't think Pro Scouts is in effect for either player right now.
He does lose 2 Ghazis in this whole shenanigan that we see here, and that's because Valdemar is target firing those perfectly. The javelin throwers looking a little bit scary now, and we know those things chunk villages in half. They're tower diving a little bit hard, taking a bit of damage here, and the archers are doing good work on them. With the javelin thrower numbers, you are not really in a position to deal with 17, now 18 archers in the base, and it feels like Valdemar, responding to what Beasty has been doing with his Ghazis, he's been put behind quite a bit with regards to that map control. The javelins now getting caught out as well, and even though it's not necessarily a unit, people think, oh, he only lost 1 or 2 of them.
It's the limited amount. It's the all units that you cannot have as many of as your oil income is not that great early on. And very nice round by Beasty. The Ghazis are right on top of the Limitenay, even if right on top of the javelins. Even if the Limitenay make connections now, all of the oil units go down right there. And yeah, now archers are just target firing. There's no real counter to them anymore.
Now, that's the problem. When you get that archer mass to be that big, the javelin throwers, they can't target fire them as well anymore. But now the javelin throwers were taken out by those Ghazis. So Beasty willing to sacrifice a few Ghazis to get that control. We can see Beasty's face there on the right side. He's focused, but he looks calm and collected. It looks like he has a plan. Valdemar, on the other hand, though, he might be a little bit scared. Managed to micro that perfectly to stop the Ghazis from taking down those last little javelin throwers that are begging for their life right now. But the archers are firing away. And even those javelin throwers look like they're made of paper.
Yeah, we're gonna move under the tower here for Valdemar, but the army mass is really quite in Beasty's favor now. And behind this all, he's taking all 3 sacred sites. And Valdemar, he does not have any mobile units, and all of his counters to the archers are currently dead. So he's a little bit under pressure, I'll say.
Yeah, no, Valdemar definitely knows that he's in a little bit of a tough situation. And with Byzantines, you usually have a lot of answers, right? You've got your towers, you've got your farms, you're going to get that olive oil, and those 3 units are going to be pouring out. But the problem is, when you're playing against Delhi, it's a civilization that just overwhelms you. And now this brings us back to a few seasons ago when they would have 60 archers in your base and you would just be begging for mercy. It feels like we're slowly getting to an archer number that feels that way. We can see those Sultanate, they have their shields up, but they're melting at this. Beasty has all his military upgrades. The Ghazis are trying their best now, and Sultanate just keep getting picked off. And you can see Valdemar cannot keep up with this production. Those Ghazis are feeling brave because they've got the archer mass to help them come all the way through. The tower getting reinforced now, and it does have a little bit of an arrow slit reinforcement, but this is still in danger of getting burnt down by the number of Ghazis that Beasty has. But you can see Beasty is cooking something. He's pushing, he has Valdemar under arrest, he's forcing him to make units, but at the same time, he's cooking a castle.
Yeah, Castle Age coming up right now. House of Learning is already on the way, and at the same time, he's still winning the front engagement. Valdemar is still highly under pressure. He did add a stable now to get some horsemen out. Beasty does currently not have a counter. He still has 9 Ghazis alive, which will do just fine. And by the time Valdemar has a sufficient number of horsemen out on the field, Beasty will be castle, and we might see some knights.
Now, the thing about Delhi is, when you hit castle, it's not that instant power spike that you have. You have quite a while for those upgrades to kick in, for them to actually start packing that punch, but you're going to need some time. And that's, Beasty is probably just going to be making units that are going to run him right over. Now, Valdemar, on the other hand, it doesn't look like he's anywhere close to transitioning to this. The moment he sees that Castle Age, that's when he knows things are about to get serious. Let's see what Beasty puts in the queue first. Obviously, the upgrades are in queue. He's got 4 more scholars being built as well. This man is going to support his army, heal them up, no matter what. I can't wait to see. I really hope that's an elephant.
He's already on 19 scholars, and he's grabbing all of the relics at once right now. All of them are prepared at the relic locations. And meanwhile, also healing up the army. Very nice, but we surprisingly don't see any of the armored units in queue just yet. Just the upgrades are being pressed, so... And there is your grave friend.
I've been waiting for this day since this morning. And I was like, hey, what could make my day even better? And that is an elephant, ladies and gentlemen. Not just 1, but 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we have elephants. I hope you're ready. Get your socks on, because they're about to be blown off when these bad boys run right into an army, do AoE damage, and take everything down. Valdemar now edging up to castle, but look at that amount of gold he's got in the bank. He's got 3 on gold as well. That's just going to mean you hit castle, but you don't have the resources to get the upgrades you need. And at this point, you have to ask yourself, what do I even upgrade?
Well, we've got Beasty doing his usual thing. We've got him styling a little bit on Valdemar, letting him know, look, I'm taking all of the relics from the map, and Valdemar just shaking his head.
Swelling.
He knows he's not in the best of positions right now. Elephants and knights now on the way to his base. And then there's the not insignificant part of the other 30 units.
Now, the thing is, when you're Byzantines, you feel pretty comfortable sitting in your base, defending, usually, because you have a lot of mangonel towers to support you in that. But Valdemar, he doesn't have that opportunity just yet. He's going to have enough stone to upgrade one of those, but I feel like with Beasty's mass, he's not even going to care about them. The elephants are on their way. He only has 2 of them, but 2 is enough to tank and to take these down. Now, the archers, though, they are giving some glancy little looks at that tower. The javelin throwers say, hey, come close, let me show you. But the Ghazis are ready for it.
Yeah, that is the way that Valdemar has to play this right now. Take some pokes, move out just a little bit. No direct engagement because he simply cannot. He has half the military right now versus Beasty. He needs to fight this in his base, taking pot shots, and hopefully fighting under a mangonel tower if he can manage to.
Now, the problem is that he's got the javelin throwers upgraded. That was his priority. But when you only have 4, it used to be 8 javelin throwers, it's quite hard to actually utilize that upgrade. That tower now has some villagers chilling inside of it, trying to fight even harder back. Valdemar getting some crossbows between this as well. But when he sees those elephants arriving, I have a feeling the man is going to be under a lot of pressure, and he's going to realize this needs to be perfect micro, or he needs to stop playing Terran and drop a nuke right on top of that army. Oh, wait. Wrong game.
It's okay. It's understandable watching this. Anyway, we've got 3 elephants, and I don't see Valdemar having anything to counter this. He's going into the Varangians now, which will do great against the archers. Beasty, though, already scouted them out, is adding his own crossbows at this point. And behind this, he's on 24 scholars. All of his castle upgrades are pretty much finished at this point.
Yeah, the problem is those javelin throwers are doing great against 1 by 1 by 1 archer, but the villagers are idle inside that TC, even if just for a bit. They might be redirected elsewhere, but they're just going to keep getting picked off now. Not a lot of villager kills going around this game. Oh, we can see they've got the torches out. Those boys do not want to lose their farms. They've worked hard on them. Their hard-earned crop is standing there. Their future oil, the future of their armies. But look at those rams and look at those elephants. They are just ready to destroy everything in their path. Even the archers firing arrows straight at those olive groves. They're out for blood or oil in this case.
Valdemar just saw the elephants. We see more limited added now, and he does add his own springouts right here to just get rid of the mass, right? He needs a way to deal more damage here, and that way will be the siege. 12 javelin throwers, but you see how they only tickle the elephants with already the castle defense upgrade. And look at that Scatterfrag just disappearing. Valdemar is going for one last hurrah. Let's see if he can make it work. Scholars, though, have been pulled forward. And in a melee fight, they're just amazing. You can't really deal any damage. Those Varangians limited don't do anything. The elephants are super healthy, staying up. Archers trading out with the jabs. But the numbers, it's 80 to 15 now in the military department. And Valdemar knows and taps out.
Now this, honestly, it is a tough position for anyone to be in because Valdemar, he's used Byzantines. And we know Byzantines has been known as that power civilization right now that a lot of players are relying on. But these two, Valdemar needs to step up and get a plan here. He needs to take down the current ATR rank 1 Mr. Beast. And Beasty feels pretty confident. You can see that face has it doesn't even look like there are any thoughts in there. He's just like, I
wasn't going to mention it, but you went there.
Yeah, I feel like he could use a chocolate milk right now. That's most likely what's going on. He's like, I could go for a Nest 3-in-1, maybe a chocolate milk. Valdemar, on the other hand, that man's thinking, okay, what map do I pick to try and outplay this poor man? Beast, it looks like he's feeling comfortable with this.
Oh yeah, but you can see Valdemar's thinking, Valdemar's cooking. He still has a plan here, and we will find out what that is. Maybe our lovely Regie can show us the draft again that we missed earlier.
We can talk about that for ages. And Twitch chat, I know you guys are burning to see it. I know every single time we host the tournament, people are like, but what are the civilizations? What did they ban? Because now, when you're getting to this point, there's a lot of people that are asking, so what civs do I actually ban? What do I need to focus on? But first, we do have this beautiful graph brought to you by Rising Empires right here, right now. Military value lead, that looks scary. That's
it looks fairly one-sided if you were to put it to me like that. But yeah, just look at the gold difference, 7,500 to 4,000, and it's just... Beasty didn't really have too many on gold at all. It was just 5 relics and 3 sacred sites.
Yeah, the problem is, when you get to a point with Delhi, you know you need to do damage. And Beasty did exactly that. He went with his Ghazis, he kept the army busy, while Valdemar was trying to push out to do some damage. And you need to do damage, because Delhi, once they start going, and once those numbers increase, it feels so difficult to actually catch up.
Exactly. You need to find that damage, and it's really hard with the infantry comp. Let's see. What do we have for civs here? We do have the Byzantines out of the way. Delhi has been used.
Look up here, so
Oh my God!
Look
it's already...
right there. it's happening. Are we seeing a Mongols? Mongols?
We're seeing an actual Mongols pick, and I'm very happy about it. Ayyubid versus Mongols. It's going to be a fun one on Nagari. We do know those fast advancement wing options, and, well, we do know that early aggression. It's going to be amazing.
Now, from the back of this production room, you guys might not see it, but everyone is happy. Everyone loves a good Mongol pick. They haven't been getting the most amount of love in these last tournaments, so we're going to actually be seeing what we can cook over here from Beasty side. Now, considering this is Nagari, I think a lot of us maybe have played this on ladder by forgetting to veto it, and then you're like, yo, there's a lake in the middle.
I love Nagari.
Oh.
Okay, to be fair, I don't love the cliff spawn on Nagari. That can be a little random. Yes, we've all been there. But other than that, hybrid maps are amazing.
Now, hybrid maps definitely offer us something unique, especially with Mongols getting picked. Now, I know on a lot of maps, Mongols actually likes to just go and, make units to destroy the opponent's dock.
That's what I'm hoping.
But they can, again, do the same thing by going for their own dock. So this leaves them with a lot of opportunities, and I'm so excited to see what Beasty tries and pulls out of this. Now, House of Wisdom instantly being built here by Valdemar, and House of Wisdom is usually a little bit delayed in favor of the dock, if anyone was going for a dock, actually.
So the way I'm expecting this to work out is you're probably not going to see a Valdemar mining camp at all, because all he needs is 130 gold to age up if he goes for an advancement wing.
And that's exactly what he did. Yeah, you can see he's already got enough gold, and Beasty knows what's cooking. I think this was a build that he did the other day where you get a second TC at the speed of light by going for the advancement wing, and we see Valdemar has already started aging up. Now, the UI, it's still not where we need it to be in this case. We are getting the sign. We have to hold on. That thing is about to pop up for us. We might have a fix for it already.
That was an intense couch there.
Beasty, though, he luckily did not invest on a dock either, so this is not going to be the first time we see a hybrid map without any docks, And this is how I kind of like my gold games as well. You don't go for the water, you just go for the mind outplay, but we'll see which person transitions a little bit earlier. Now, Beasty, knowing that Valdemar isn't going for this, he's probably going to try and match that age up speed with the advancement wing. Oh, it's fast. It's so fast.
Oh yeah, no way you're matching that. The issue is, if you're the Mongols here, if you go for early aggression, by the time that your aggression crosses the map, Ayyubids are feudal, and they can just counter you easily. If you went for a water opening, then they are feudal, and they'll build a dock, and they will have warships. So yeah, it's not really worth it for you to already go water or to aggress, and same thing applies the other way around, right?
Well, these players dancing around, Valdemar just switching identities right in front of our face. The man is looking ready for this, because with the advancement wing, now he has some choices, and we're going to find that out pretty soon. We're going to see if Valdemar is going to go for that sneaky 2TC of what we would have had, but by now he would have been on stone already, but he's going for the dock. As our wonderful...
A dock is a TC. It will produce workers.
It's basically a TC. It is, but I want to see if Beasty's actually going to try and stop this. Because now, with Valdemar going for that dock, he has time to make ships, right? Because he's got the advancement wing. He's already opening with a military ship. He's hit the age up already. And Beasty, on the other hand, he's still building those deer stones. We'll see what he's going for next, because we see he's got 5 on wood. So this is probably telling us a story of a dock, or even just a barracks himself.
Yeah, we see Valdemar opening with the archer ship, now scouting out if there's any Mongol docks that he has to worry about. Of course, only one warship. It's a little dicey. Beasty can just sneak. There's the worker that we talked about sneaking in. And, oh, Valdemar scouts it out, and Beasty realizes, can make it away here.
Yeah, now, this is a denial, but with Mongols, you have choices now, right? Because he can go for a stable, he can decide to go for a barracks, he could do that land aggression. But Valdemar's already putting himself in quite a commanding spot, because now he's the king of the water. Yeah. He's just standing there with his trident, ensuring nobody puts down any dock in his vicinity. Now, the thing is, when you're on water, you do have that little bit of a boost. Your income is going to be a bit better. But let's see what Beasty does with this wood. No, he says, I'm not going to give up on that dock. I'm just going to bring 2 villages instead of 1 because I can split those bad boys up, or I can just build it from 2 sides and he might do a little bit of damage, but I'm confident I can take this on. Now, that ship is not in position to instantly start attacking, so this is going to give those villagers an extra chance.
Oh,
That
nice move by Beasty. The scout sees the bottom villager moving over, and the right side is not being spotted at all. Galley, though, moving over right now.
The thing is, now with those 2 villages that he's building with, he can split those up and keep building, but he needs to be careful because this can be so expensive. They're standing right on top of each other, and he loses one, he loses another.
Disaster. How's the left side dock looking?
The left side is getting built slowly, but after seeing what that Dow did to those villagers, I feel a little bit scared here for Fred, trying his best to get that dock up. He's trying to keep the galley engaged, though. Now Beasty most likely pulling another villager from the other side. Exactly what's happening here, but Valdemar, he knows. He's going straight for it, but now he's going back to the other side, because now with Beasty's aggression on both sides, he's just able to force a dock. And Valdemar making his own camels now, this is going to make it a little bit harder for Beasty to keep that pressure up once that camel lands in his woodline.
Yeah, Beasty has the dock finished now, opening with his own Hulk there. And we do have Valdemar responding in kind, so he'll have 2-1 warships. Now, let's see if Beasty can keep that dock while another villager is moving to the top side, trying to sneak another dock. That's a lot of wood investment, by the way. And we do have Valdemar going for those riders now. We do have a horseman in queue, and there is 1 desert raider on the map. Galley spots out the other dock attempt, but Beasty's on the water.
Yeah, the thing is, that Springald ship is going to force Valdemar to either make his own or have to respond in swords. And with Beasty now getting his own arrow ship between all of this too, it puts him in a pretty decent position. Beasty wants that second dock, I say, but he says he's willing to cancel it. Never mind. Double broadaxe now coming in for Beasty, so it shows he wants to get as much wood as possible to take back this. But the thing is, we're in a position where we're now going to be dealing with a landmass from Valdemar as well. So Valdemar now, he's got some land army, and this is going to ensure that Beasty has to respond on land too. He can't just sit back and relax.
Yeah. Land attempt at the gold right there for Beasty. He has to vacate it for now. 64 left. He only needs gold to make demo ships, but right now he cannot afford one. Second Hulk is coming out for Beasty right now. So he has the superiority in numbers on the water, but we do have 2 horsemen and that raider out.
Now, it doesn't look like there's any more landmass coming from Valdemar just yet, but with him having a little bit of that eco lead that we see 28 to 24, those 2 villager kills pretty early on, and a lot of idle time from those villagers from Beasty in the early game, it does start adding up. Now, the thing is, when we look at the ranks of these 2 players, we know that Beasty is a little bit favored here. So in all of this, Valdemar still, even though he has a lead, he needs to still play perfectly. This man has a lot that he needs to do right for him to be able to take Beasty down. Because we know Beasty, this man can cockroach real hard.
Boar is being pulled and the worker gets taken out. But we do have an engagement on the water right now. And it looks like Beasty will be pushing in right there. We're under the dock and we do have 2 fishing boats. But the second dock of Valdemar that was really late is being denied right now. We do have a demo ship on the way. Let's see if the galley will be in time to snipe that. Coming out, and Beasty immediately pulls back and realizes. And it's gone.
Yeah, no, that's the problem with those demo ships. You need to micro them absolutely perfectly. But beautiful pickup there by Valdemar. Exactly what I mentioned before. Now he gets the Khan as well. And you know what Lennox said. Khan die, I die. So Beasty in a little bit of danger now because that was his only unit on land that can give him this information. Luckily for Beasty, though, he's on wood. And, you know, Mongols, they get to move around that TC. They're going to keep it in a safe position, and the horsemen, they're going to struggle finding damage. Beasty has his villagers back on gold. It doesn't look like that Desert Raider has stayed on the gold for too long, so he's able to get those resources that he needs to start eventually getting demos of his own. But you can see what's in queue there. Yeah. Beasty is getting those docks reinforced.
He's going for a real power play on the water right there. We have 4 hulks, and he's confident that he can deal with any demo ships coming out with just the 1 galley. And the 2 naval arrow slits that are right now coming out. So Beasty making that big play for the water, and I don't think Valdemar can hold this right now. He does have 2 of his own hulks in the queue.
Now, with Valdemar getting more ships, this is... I mean, it's going to be important for him to hold this, right? Beasty, though, with that defensive advantage he's got, he's able to get a little bit of fishing done too. We see he's got a lot on gold, so he's able to spend as much as he needs, and I just saw the demos being clicked up. It looks like Beasty wants to win this water. You know, when you have a big lake like this, there's a lot of deep sea fish you get to fight over, so once he gets control of this, this is going to snowball real hard. Valdemar, though, still 2 vills ahead, and the Uwu is now under the res.
Getting rid of that free stone income is really nice for him. By the way, other really nice thing is he now has 5 hulks, so he can one-shot the demo ships. But there's a big connection. One goes down. Other demo ship got denied in time, and Valdemar manages to pull back his hulk and repair it with the worker ships. Oh, and Beasty, a little bit of a miss rally there. That one makes it just barely away. So got a little bit of a stalemate on the water. Valdemar up to 6 hulks now, but he did lose his galley. Let's see if he's going to replace it or he's just going to say, damn it, I do have enough springles. I can just shoot things.
Now, what I want you guys to notice as well is Valdemar has idled his TC for a bit. And this is not because, you know, people idle their TCs. This is showing exactly how much pressure water can add to a game. When you're focused on the water, when you know, oh, there can be a demo ship at any point here, you sometimes forget about these things. There's just so much to focus on. With him raiding Beastie space at the same time, even though he killed 3 vills, this is dead, almost dead even in the... Oh, I say dead even, but look at that. Beastie has finally caught up properly, but now the water mass, he's trying to flank.
Right there. Valdemar needs to react to this. First shot, and the second one will connect. Here come the Baneling splits.
And showing beautifully how easily this can snowball. But now, with the amount of spring-old ships we have on water, we're definitely going to be able to respond to these demos. The thing is, a lot of players actually like going for a lot of them. We've seen Vortex on water and how he just likes to make 8 plus of those and run them right into your army. And Valdemar has 3 of them in queue. So he can potentially take down this army of Beastie if he loses focus for a moment.
Big detriment for Valdemar right here, except that his goal is being raided, but also the fact that he's still on Golden Age 0. But he loses 2 workers right there. Third one is under duress, will probably not make it away. And Beastie attacks on the water at the same time. Demo ships are being moved forward and are just running through, even though there are galleys, 1 connection on each side. It's just so much pressure.
There's absolute chaos right now, and that's what I mean. There's so much happening on water. Beastie is a little bit more experienced on these water maps, so this is most likely going to be his comfort zone. You can see he's attacking on the land, he's attacking on the water, and he feels kind of comfortable with this. Valdemar doing an amazing job at responding to this. You can see instantly target firing as much as he can, but those Keshiks definitely kept him busy for a while.
Yeah, we've got the great snipes there on the 2 demos, but more are on the way. Beastie's just still functioning on his 4 hulks that he's moving around with. And we're still on Golden Age 0. Please, we want that 10% extra income that Ayyubids can have. It's such a huge deal here, especially for the wood income that he's currently super lacking. Has 19 on wood, has no wood at all. And he's getting his own naval arrow slits right now, because every time Beastie applies the pressure, well, he has no fallback.
That's the thing. Beastie has a defensive area that he gets to pull those ships back toward and heal them back up. Now, with Beastie having 9 on gold, though, I was about to say he's going to be queuing up some upgrades. Gets wheelbarrow now, one of my favorite things in this world. Valdemar already drowning in his own wheelbarrow, so he didn't have the golden age, but his villagers, they've been running really fast. The thing is now, looking at the split here, it does look like Valdemar is trying to focus a little bit more on the land. Now, this fight is looking a little bit scary. He needs to be so careful, but this goes for both of them. Any demo ship can change this game.
I mean, you can really see the focus there on those 2 faces. And you just need to realize every time the demo ship comes out, Valdemar needs to be looking right there. It needs to control these units as he pulls back, as he starter steps to get those sprinkled shots out. And while his gold is being raided, again,
that's the
Neverville
thing.
goes down.
Those Keshiks, they do pretty well against anything. The Desert Raiders, even though they have that camel unease, these Keshiks are still pseudo-knights, so they can still do a pretty chunk of damage against most armies. But we can see the supply is in favor of Valdemar. The thing is, that is of supply on water.
And as I say that about the attention span, Valdemar just walks straight into Beastie's army. They take some nasty shots and is under the naval arrow slits. But most of his army stays alive right there. And Neverville goes down, which we currently missed. Yeah, Valdemar's also raiding, and trying to get his own tower up defensively.
Yeah, that's the problem at this point of the game. Valdemar going for those Desert Raiders that he definitely has map presence, but Beasty knows how to respond to this. Getting the towers, those Desert Raiders, they don't do that well against arrows, so arrow slits will be sufficient in stopping them. But Valdemar, he knows he needs to keep this pressure up, and with that villager split, I'm expecting him to maybe decide to go for castle eventually.
This looks like a scary castle play. Scary for him because naturally Beasty is currently still making warships, and if he decides to click up, that still needs to take another 2 minutes until he actually arrives there. Yeah, he's definitely going for castle here.
Yeah, when you start walling off your base, that's when you know, hey, I'm cooking something. But Beasty says there's no time to cook. I'm about to fire up that
and there's
water.
3 more demos on the way. Another big hit, 4 ships going down, and Beasty's just pushing in. It's, oh my god, this is not looking great for him on the water. He only has 4 left, and Beasty is just overwhelming here. Naval arrow slits are nice, but look at that. Boom. Everything's just dead.
It's dead, Chris. And Valdemar, he had that military superiority, and that's what we're talking about. The moment you lose focus, a demo ship can change the whole game. And I felt like that's what exactly happened there. He was trying to respond by getting that wall up at the top. Did an amazing job with that, but at the cost of what? As we can see, the whole water mass. That was a massive army that Beasty took down. And now, even though Beasty lost another villager, he's so far ahead. You can see the villager kills there at the bottom. It's looking, those are some big amounts, especially at this point of the game. But now, more demo ships. Valdemar is not ready to give up on water just yet. He wants to let Beasty know you're going to have to work for it and invest to take these down a bit more. And I mean, that's important. When you're leaving your opponent to take whatever he wants, you're going to put yourself in a very, very tough spot. The Horseman now trying to get some damage. The Khan is just being an absolute menace, but eventually Valdemar punishes him for being this far out.
Yeah, Beasty just wants to get Valdemar off the water as soon as he can, just so he can start booming on the water with his own fishing boats and just get that much better economy. Oh, that was a dicey spawn there, clips the Hulk, but still stays alive. Naval arrow slit still firing, but Beasty will be able to take down the last dock in just a second, and then I'm expecting to see a lot of fishing boats queued.
Now, one thing that Beasty taught me the other day is that a player will do something for a reason. And he's not repairing that Uwu. He's not risking any units going there, because for him, that's not the way he wins this game. You want to only react to things that mean something to you. So with Beasty not caring about that whole scenario over there, he's okay with this going down. He's got a plan. Like you said, he wants to boom on water. He's going to live his best life over there. Let's see what Valdemar ages up with, though. We're very close to clicking that button, and we see he's gotten his golden age as well, so the 10% bonus finally is going to start to kick in, and he gets eco. Now, the reason we go for eco at this point of the game is when we know we've lost a lot of villagers or we just lost water, we need to find a way to get at the same level pretty quickly. Otherwise, we're going to fall behind exponentially.
Oh yeah, he's so far behind right now economically, and he's going to fall further behind. Just gonna make a little bit of a dent in that with the eco-wing growth there, with the extra villagers. And the issue for him right now is he's gonna try to do damage to Beasty on the land. I don't see him being able to do anything about the water at this moment, or in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, the problem is Beasty has military ships all over. You can see that military mass. He's got 3 on the water right now. They can patrol every single angle he needs to patrol. And Beasty feels pretty confident. Even though these units are in his base, he's like, I've got towers. I know when things are coming. And just want to point out, no professional scouts this game. Love that for us. I know it's water, but you know, any game with no professional scouts is a good one. I'll take it. I'll take anything.
You can see Beasty taking a lot of gold, thinking about his own castle age as well while he goes on the deer with his extra vills. Horseman trying to be a pest, but there's just not enough to do real damage. And Beasty adding in some archers of his own. If you try to go for the HF, if you have some leftover wood anyway, then yeah, it's a really nice attempt because they cost neither a lot of food and they don't cost any gold, so all of your HF resources are safe. And the Desert Raiders, they just can't deal with the archers right now. So.
Yeah, the archers are accompanied by a Khan hunter. So now, you know, you've got extra spicy archers chasing after those. Those are very susceptible to them already. And more attacks coming from Beasty on the side. And he doesn't really have anything to help with those Keshik's in his base. Valdemar right now, he's trying to make spearmen, but we know how scary Mongols can be when they've got a Kurultai with this as well. Valdemar, though, he's got a lot of resources in the bank, so you can see he's waiting for that age up to start making possibly the camel lancers to handle this. Kurultai halfway done, as we're seeing there. Valdemar hitting the castle age, and camel lancers instantly queued up. Gulams alongside. He needs some chunky units to be able to handle what Beasty has in his army, because archers are going to hurt most of what camels are.
Yeah. I do like the read from Valdemar here. He just produced a few spears just to deal with potential Keshik raids as he ages up. And now he's going to go straight into armored units. Issue for him is Beasty will hit castle age in about 4 seconds. And, well, okay, 2 seconds. Fine. But now he's pushed off the gold as well, right there with the Keshik, trying to grab the relics, and Beasty immediately going for the speed upgrade for his Kurotai that will be moving across the map. We see him go into crossbows, into men-at-arms, who cost a lot of food naturally. I mean, just look at the eco numbers. It is insane. Valdemar, by the way, adding in his second TC like 3-4 minutes ago. He's trying to catch up. He needs to.
That's the question you have to ask yourself. I just lost water. How am I going to stay up to date with this? Getting a second TC is a pretty good response, but the problem is you can die pretty quickly. Now, this Keshiks, they will definitely pay the price here.
Nice body blocks and the shifts come out, but they just carry on. They cause more idle time. They're just being a pest, and meanwhile, Beasty's army is growing.
Now, Valdemar does luckily have a backwards gold here that he can fall back on and just try to get a few resources in there. But Beasty, though, he's just parading around the map right now and slowly going to start getting relics as well. We see he's got one of those bad boys in queue, ready to pick up some of those relics while he's pushing into his opponent's base. I would love to see how many units are being surrounded by that Kurultai, but it is very aggressively placed there in the south. So we're going to be seeing some Beasty shenanigans pretty soon. But Valdemar, he knows I can't do anything about this army in my base right now. I need to make something else happen. So amazing response here. Just being able to send out 1 or 2 units is going to be able to let Beasty get distracted for a moment or two. Kurultai getting plopped down right on top of that gold.
Yeah, just trying to find the damage there. Beasty, by the way, did not go for veteran upgrades just yet. So he's just making the castle age units. We have mass crossbows, still mass men-at-arms, which will be a really hard comp to beat for Valdemar, and he's going straight into many Gulams, just making a few lancers to potentially grab more relics, deal with potential monks moving out, and yeah, right now Beasty is knocking on the southern door. All he shows though is the archers with the Khan Hunter for the extra range and a few spears.
And this play from Beasty, getting the tower up here, is such an important move, because when you are trying to defend against a civilization that is quite well known for their mobile units, you need to know where these things are, and he's getting towers exactly everywhere where he needs to. Getting it on top of the sacred site as well, just providing that extra little bit of prowess. But we see now those camel lancers are looking quite aggressive. They will be taking down that poor little monk. Oh, they were thinking about it actually, but no, fast fingers. Fast fingers.
Yeah, very nice reaction here by Beasty, and the crossbow is just cheekily sitting there in the middle of those berry patches just so the lancers cannot get at them at all. So Valdemar has to pull back. Meanwhile, Beasty's army still massing under the Kurotai in the south, and Valdemar is going for mass Springles for this. Let's see how they'll do into this. I'm a little scared for Beasty here, honestly. 6 Springles will make quite the dent into 14 men-at-arms if he can protect them.
Yeah, with getting that mass Springles, you're definitely putting your opponent in a situation where they probably don't want to be running all those units straight into them. And this is probably the best move from Valdemar. He knows he cannot win a straight-up fight in all of this. Those Gulams are building away. That's the great thing about Ayyubids, right? You don't need to involve your siege engineering properly. Those things are built into your Gulams. They're going to build it right on top of the farms, anywhere they want, and Springles are gonna be flooding. 11 now.
Are you seeing what Beasty's cooking though, while he's moving his army across the map and pressuring Valdemar?
No. What is happening?
You see those Imperial resources stacking up.
Beasty is cooking. We are gonna get our Imperial Age Mongols if he survives that long, because that's a lot of Springles. The men-at-arms getting chunked there by those Springles. That is a scary amount of Springles.
At the same time, we have the attempt at the bottom side, just trying to pick off more villagers. And Valdemar's army, once again, is not mobile enough to deal with this. So he has to decide which side am I gonna defend, which side do I need to move my villagers away. And Beasty's also controlling the top side gold while we talk about that. So Valdemar is going to be running out very, very soon. He did get 2 of the relics inside, so he will have a slight trickle, but it's a real rough day to be Ayyubids on this map.
The thing is, Valdemar is nowhere close to preparing for Imperial himself. And Beasty, he's got a lot of food per minute. He's got the water on his side as well. And Valdemar now at 670 food per minute. This man is not ready to produce the amount of units he's going to need for the Mongols that start overwhelming.
Great read by Beasty. I'm not sure if he saw it or if he's just going to randomly move up there. But yeah, Valdemar needs to move out to the gold. His own gold is run out now. Beasty hits Imperial as we speak. And wow, there's another dive on the farms. Valdemar is not reacting in time at least. Beasty's just going to stream on there. Springles will be here, but Beasty can afford to lose these units.
Beasty can afford to lose them, remake them, but those Springles, they're going to be hard to replace eventually, especially with these wood lines thinning out so much. The idle time meaning so much for Valdemar right now. He's going to try to win a fight on at least one side because he has to.
Yeah, Beasty scouts out the golds taken by Valdemar there. Valdemar trying desperately to grab as much gold as he can because he's expecting to be pushed off. And his food economy is also not doing super great as we speak. 400 or close to 500 food income, just making extra farms and replacing the villagers he just lost. Meanwhile, the Springles just without any protectors driving off the southern force. Is Beasty reacting to this in any way? Okay, you can't really tell anymore if you look at his composition because we do have the Cagnet Palace. How do you feel about gambling for your units?
I love the gamba coming in from Beasty here. I feel like the Cagnet Palace is just a Mangadai. Wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. Those are going to be some spicy horses just firing arrows around. The thing is, Beasty probably loves to have some ranged units in all of this. We see hand cannoneers. We see a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He's just mixing it up. He stopped making that many men-at-arms. But it looks like he's going to be pop cap pretty soon, as we can see that those units, or the resources he has, is looking quite scary. More hand cannoneers being added here. Kurultai being all the way over here, but look at those Springles!
Oh my god, they're dealing with the big old Baochuan.
I honestly never knew that the Baochan had a answer. So now we can see Springles still do what they're supposed to, doing an amazing work at keeping this back, but look at that. The problem with the Springles is they can do so much AoE damage if Beasty is not careful, but now Mongols does what they do best, bombard towers everywhere on the map.
This feels disgustingly oppressive rather, and we do have the Khan just casually taking a stroll through the Ayyubid base because, oh, why not? Just taking his own Khan Hunter with him to have some extra range and just looking what he can find.
The thing is, I think with this Khan, he's not looking for damage right now. He's looking for idle time. He's looking to delay. And Valdemar is just stuck in that position now. He's gotten his farms up. It's looking a lot better for him. But
Southern Sacred Site is also being fortified. And we do have the timer running on 7 minutes. Does Beasty cancel this bombard emplacement?
I feel like as a Mongol player, he doesn't mind too much. He does cancel it though. That's a smart move. You're going to lose that tower. You don't want to be wasting anything on that.
He doesn't have that much income because he doesn't have trade, right? But yeah, this fight is going to be rough for Valdemar. 80 military supply against 20. And yeah, the siege will really have to do some work here. You see the spreads here from the men-at-arms. They're just trying to get on top. And yeah, Valdemar realizes there's no way he can beat this mass.
And that's the problem. When you're playing in Springles, yes, they're great. They deal with men-at-arms, but you need them in mass. And at that point, I think he had 8 in the last fight, and it just wasn't enough to overwhelm. And we saw the little ship assisting there on the side. Beasty's army looking very, very scary here in the late game. And honestly, this is a scary matchup for him in general, because you never know what to expect from Mongols. They have a lot of responses. Valdemar definitely putting amazing pressure on Beasty and showing he's not anyone to be scoffed at. So, match point right now.
Match point. And it was a really scary moment there when Valdemar decided, yes, I need to go Castle Age here to deal with Beasty to kill him right then with the timing attack. And Beasty just realizes and goes for it. Was very well read, and then basically you have to go for the TCs, and you can't deal with the mass fishing otherwise.
The crazy part is we can actually see every single time someone loses water, they realize, okay, I gotta go all in, or I gotta find a way to get even. Now, before we talk about this game so much, I want to point to something up here. Guys, thank you for everyone who supported this tournament. I see we've gone from 88% to 93% today. Nice. So ladies and gents, if you feel like supporting this event with all these live people coming to you from all over the world.
Live?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Trying to bring you the best show we can. This is going to be our wonderful community event that's coming to you the whole weekend long. So guys, if you feel like supporting Rising Empires, please remember to go and support. Let me just see where the bar is right here.
Nice hit.
Very nice.
Yeah, look at that. Valdemar applying a lot of pressure here. You see him going for the land first, and there's his military value lead, but Beasty just overwhelming underwater, and then it's all Beasty. If you look at the resources gathered, it is so much different, even though Valdemar tried to boom behind it.
Now, when you see this amount of resources on Beasty's side, you know he was sitting on this for a while. Getting that Imperial Age, he had a choice. I can either make a lot of units, or I can go Imperial and win this game with bombard towers and a lot of pressure. And he did a great job at that. Valdemar not being able to get that food source in his pocket, it just put him into this position where Beasty's army was too big, and he was reliant on this massive springholds that they just don't run all the directions at the same time, like the mobile army of Mongols.
There's also the issue of the Cagnet Palace. Oh my god. Let me finish that thought, and then we'll look at that.
Okay.
Because the Cagnet Palace, if you go Imperial as Mongols, it's like 700 free resources, even before your Resource Military Academy.
Really?
Per minute.
My gosh.
It's really nice.
You sound like a Mongol enjoyer. How dare you?
Look, I watch Draggedy streams and watch him get 3 Hui powers in a row and be vocal about it, and I just enjoy myself.
Yeah, no. Everyone can enjoy a good crackety scream when the time is right.
Let's scream about this, though. What do you think about this matchup in particular?
Another night! Another night! I am so excited to see JD on our beautiful Four Lakes.
Did you play JD on Four Lakes before, or any French variant? Because I know Cal tried to teach you that.
I've not been successful. But I do believe in watching it. And when I see it, I feel like JD, she is probably the lady that will handle this the best, especially when you're dealing with Japan. Now, when we're dealing with Japan, we know that they have a lot of presence on the map. The shinobis, they will be shinobi in your base and on your docks, on everything else. So you just have to invest so much more. But with JD now, I feel like she likes a good fight. The problem is just, I don't know if she's good enough to face Japan. Japan is scary.
Yeah, just the ability to disable the docks is just so scary, because you'll lose water in an instant. The second the Japanese dock is up and you can no longer produce for 30 seconds, yeah, what do? You just sit there and feel bad about yourself.
Exactly. Or you have to invest in another one.
Jenny comes in and just smacks them around. So we'll see if she can do this time.
The thing is, JD, she needs to level up first to be able to take this fight. And I feel like Shinobis, they handle that woman quite well, even when she's enforced with a lot of weapons. So
20 base damage is scary.
Yeah, no, those Shinobis, they can take on most units. And that's the problem when you're faced against them. You're forced to make something you wouldn't necessarily do. Now, the other thing that I've noticed, especially with this type of matchup, we have a lot of Shinobis moving towards docks. Yes, we all know and hate it, but we've also seen a lot of Shinobis going straight for the gold when playing against French or JD, because they're forcing you not to be able to get that knight or any of your usual advances you get in the early game.
Yeah. On my good old low conqueror knowledge, I just was able to make a lot of knights, and it felt really, really good on Four Lakes to play JD. But yeah, if there's Shinobi there, constantly applying pressure, constantly using that idle time that you'll be forced to have, well, you're forced into a tower, you're forced into so much investment to just defend yourself. And
did you see that? We're at 97%!
I don't know what happened, but whoever just did that...
Guys, Thank you. This is going back to the players.
Producer, we can't see it. It says contribution.
There's No, guys, absolutely amazing. And remember, this just increases the prize pool for the players. And, you know, we've got some big names here. So we would love to encourage them to do this a little bit more. But ladies, let's think about past this one. Beasty has Japan. And I think that's what I'm a little bit worried about. I don't know if Valdemar had anything else in his arsenal that he felt comfortable with, but you know you're going to be playing against Japan on a map like this. Like, the other option he may have had was Rus, but I feel like Shinobis deal with Rus so well. And I don't know. I feel like this is such a tough matchup. Any serve against Japan is a tough matchup.
Yeah, definitely the pressure will be on Valdemar here to perform. Though, of course, the micro pressure is on the person with the Shinobi. But I do believe that if one guy can do it, it will be Beasty. So, yeah, JD going to be in peril here. We'll find out if we can deal with that. And we're going right in.
I hear wood being chopped right now. No, that is actually a dock being built. We just hear the hammers. They're working. These villages, none of them lazy whatsoever. They're just working real hard. Beasty now snacking on that sheep. We see... Does Valdemar... Where's that dock? Yes, the dock onto the north side of his base. Beasty going for the southern one. So both of them getting it on the opposite sides now. And we're not going to be... seeing so many Dark Age crazy plays, not that we've expected any of them, so all we can talk about is the sheep count. Valdemar, how many are you bringing home, sir?
Just got the good old 7 following his scout around. He's just looking for Beasty's dog, which he will find on the other pond. And we do have the 6 sheep right down there as soon as Cow updates that counter. Beautiful counter, by the way.
Wow, look at those numbers. They're going wild right now. Oh, it's changing. He's keeping track of these. Every single sheep counts, ladies and gentlemen. No, we just got a nod. He's just pressing buttons, ladies. Let's focus on the fish.
Yeah, Japanese recently got a nerf, if you remember. I don't know, were you sad about that? Just that the fishing boats are just a little bit more expensive now.
No, Japan already has Shinobis. They do not need extra cheap fishing ships. Those boys, they're very happy on the water. We needed to give them something that slows them down from getting Shinobis, getting complete water control, and having all that, I will call it, free fishing ego from all those cheap ships.
I feel like it was a good change. They just shifted a little bit more power to the land, making the daimyo even cheaper, making the Dark Age presence a little bit felt, even though we're not gonna see it today, or right here at least. Oh man, I really would have loved to see Dark Age Samurai, but nobody's using it, to be real.
You think Dark Age Samurai in a day like today?
No.
This is the biggest tournament of the year so far in person.
Let me dream, okay?
Okay.
Let me have my little world up there in my head.
Now let's see what Beasty decides to go for here. We want to look at that villager split right now. Valdemar, he still has 9 on food. He's still got 3 on gold. And guys, this means he's going to get his early night, which is going to be... Oh, wait. He hasn't started aging up yet. I just realized, Beasty... I feel like the split is a little bit weird. I think I lost track of everything for a moment here. What is happening? Okay.
It's a little volatile with the fishing boats because they carry a lot more food than regular villagers. So if they don't drop off at the right moment... I was about to comment on JD being out to build the dock and staying there to fish, which obviously you want the villager out there to stay and get you the better food income. But she's being moved back, so I'm expecting Valdemar to think that, yeah, there will be pressure coming towards the dock, does not want to risk JD before she levels up to lose their herd to any Shinobi moving in.
Now, the thing about Beasty's scout here is he's being a little bit cheeky. We can see all those deer just being spread around all around the map because you don't want to let JD get those optimal deer gathering rates that they will be getting there. Valdemar, I don't... Wait. Are those... Oh no, I was going to say, is that TC idle right now? I think he sacrificed a villager there to be able to build that school of cavalry as early as possible. That TC did not look like it was building there for a second, but that's just the problem with water. You're trying to balance your economy at the same time, and when you're dealing with fishing ships, when those boats start dropping off, you need to make sure that you have the food for a villager.
Now I have to do a little work here for my boy Valdemar because Beasty's currently 2 workers ahead. That means he has 2 more fishing boats. He's actually 2.5, more like 3 workers ahead. Yeah, okay, damn it, you might be right.
Yeah, it seems like Valdemar, that's just the thing.
Mill goes out, and unfortunately, Valdemar would have loved to put that right there and have some deer on top of it. He can still push in too, but yeah, Wheelbarrow coming out early, and he does have enough to immediately queue a knight once he's up. Beasty though pushing out that Coca Township with 6 villagers, and now we start watching for any moving dots on the minimap to see if there's gonna be an aggressive dock coming from either player.
Now, the fishing ship economy is going to be so powerful for something like JD, but you're going to have a night out, and Beastie is going to need to do something about it. And I don't feel like the Shinobis do that well against it. A night is probably the answer you're looking for. But with the Shinobis, they can be in a lot of places at once. They're a little bit cheaper, but the tower is going to solve most of those problems related to knights.
Immediately queues up 2 extra Shinobi, and it looks like with the tower on the gold as well, obviously against the Night Civ you kind of need it anyway, but this might indicate an early Castle Age. Also puts a lot on gold now with the fishing income that he already has through the food there. This looks like Japanese might just rush it up to Castle.
Ooh. And that's going to be something spicy. I would not say any one of us would have been able to predict it. Just getting the constant knights out already means you sacrifice going for that second dock, sacrifice going for that water pressure. He gets wheelbarrow, double broadaxe as well. This man is just going to be pumping out units. But BC now going to have 4 Shinobis. And those are going to be quite annoying to handle. The thing is, we want to see if BC actually goes for a second dock somewhere and tries to deny anything of Valdemar's. But yeah, he's got a second dock on his original lake, but usually you want to get an extra lake in there as well. Beastie now 9 on gold. He's not focused on that. They're both... He's going for castle, actually.
Oh yeah, second tower is already going up, and he'll likely arrow slit them too if he feels the need. And Shinobi are also just hanging out there. They deal really well with single knights because they have so high base damage that the knights can't really fight back and just get overwhelmed. Valdemar going for Jenny's ranged form here, and she will be heading towards the enemy base in a short while. Yeah, she's already here, moving from the bottom side.
Now, with JD's presence on the map, keep in mind, you don't want to lose this woman, but she does want to take a good fight. So, with BC now, he did lose one of those Shinobis. We can see Valdemar is trying to put a little bit of pressure out on the rest of the map, and Beastie's fishing ships, they're very focused on that one island.
Galley is already on the way for Beastie to defend against the Knights here, trying to burn the dock. And I do wonder if Valdemar will go for that counter dock here on the eastern pond there, because otherwise, I mean, he knows this Galley is coming. He knows that will be the expected response. Jenny, though, doing a good job here, trying to... And she gets one immediately, going for that true strike shot there with the unreduced damage. There's the galley out. Valdemar already pulled back. He knows the timing. He lost one scout, unfortunately, but knights all stay alive and healthy.
Now, JD, she loves picking off those little villages, but keep in mind, she needs to be careful, because when you get a bunch of Shinobis that can just pop up on top of you, that's when things get a little hairy. But Beastie, he's already started suspending the gate. It's going to be floating all the way, and then we're going to get some knighted samurais, and they're going to deal with French knights without even blinking.
We've got an 8-minute H-up right there, and going for that full surround with the docks on the water, so he cannot get counter-docked, so his fishing is safe. His gold is already under double tower, so he's not gonna really be pressured there either. Valdemar, though, going for the full all-in. Look at that. He spent all of his food at this point. Has 2 knights in queue, is producing archers as well. Will he be able, though? Will we see that stable come out for Beastie? Will he go for the mounted Sams? What will be his weapon of choice? Shinobi's trying to be cheeky here, and they do get 1 worker kill.
Now, getting a little bit of a Vil pick off every here and there is going to be absolutely amazing for him because, again, Valdemar needs to do a lot more things right than Beastie needs to do in this case.
It is an archery range, so we're going to be seeing some Onamusha coming out.
And this is absolutely wild to think about. Onamusha, they do absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that was scary for a moment there. The priest spawns on the right side. Knights are within half a screen, but makes it away, and 4 Onamusha immediately queued for Beastie, and his income is still super secure. So Valdemar will have to find a way to deal with those. But we do have 8 archers on the field already.
Now, when you have 8 archers, they're going to be able to do a lot, but keep in mind, Beasty has +1 upgrades already. He's actually ready for those archer numbers, and with enough Onamusha, you're just going to be able to outrun those archers. You're going to be able to out-kite them. So with enough numbers, he's going to be okay. And Beasty getting those eco upgrades, he's pretty calm about this. He's not too worried. Onamusha numbers are increasing slowly.
He's feeling well. Valdemar scouts out the Shinobi, leaving. It's unfortunate for Beasty. There's one more somewhere on the map, but this one will not make it back alive.
So when I think about JD, I think about a woman who loves a fight. Beasty, however, he doesn't mind taking a fight to her in castle. And that's exactly where he's sitting very, very comfortably right now. Both of them still being on one lake, but Beasty looks a little bit more populated there. We do see the 5 villager difference, and that's going to put us in a very strange position.
Straight into Valdemar's army, but all they get are some pot shots at the knights. Valdemar cannot bring the archers in range in time. And Beasty's just getting the speed upgrade. Every time you walk into the view range of an enemy unit, you can see them glowing right now. They get super speedy, and that means Beasty never needs to really take a fight if he doesn't want to.
And that's the thing about JD. She's wanted a few fights by now, and she is not going to be getting any of those. So once she does, I feel like that's going to be when the army is already super, super chunky here from a Japan player. Now, what I can see here is a stable. Oh, a Wololo coming up.
I did hear a dead priest right there. Beasty trying to bring the first relic back, and his first priest unfortunately goes the way of the dodo.
Well, unfortunately for Valdemar, those numbers are not looking big enough to actually handle it. Look at those beautiful Onamushas kiting. We can see with their bannermen supporting them, they're going to be pretty much okay taking most fights. Focusing JD, she takes a lot of damage.
Oh, she's immediately down, just 2 volleys.
And she instantly gets brought back. Valdemar says, this is worth it. I need to get every bit of experience I can on this woman. And the problem is, I just don't know if she's going to be able to get back into the range of getting these properly. We see it's only 250 gold to buy her back right now. She's still level 2. So she doesn't mind, not too many resources spent on her, but Beasty now, he's again just going to keep kiting. Now the samurais at the front here also there to tank quite a bit.
Nice connection there for Valdemar with the charges, but unfortunately Onamusha do so much damage to the knights.
So these knights are trying their best to frontline, to try and tank. They did take down the bannermen, but the problem is there is more coming, and it doesn't feel like Beasty is going to have to slow down. His gold is pretty much secured. He's got a lot of fishing boats, living their best life, getting everything back to base. And now, relics are going to slowly start pouring in as well. But this looks like a fight Valdemar's about to take, and this might be very costly.
Grabs one,
JD
loses a knight for it though, but we do have nice pot shots here from the archers on top of the Onamusha. And JD stays alive. Whew.
Barely. She is running away, a little bit scared right now. But Beasty doesn't want to take that raid again. He says, I need my gold. Let me just get that, and then we'll talk about this again. He says, I need a few more Onamushas to make this go my way. Now, with his raids on the other hand, though, he's going to force Valdemar to keep making units, or send them all the way back to his base. And that's exactly what Beasty would like here. He needs to try and get Valdemar to be delayed so that those relics he starts getting is just going to be able to tick as well.
Just so very few knights made, and you can already see how much idle time there is. Well, another big engagement, and JD, with her true shot ability there, she can take out an Onamusha really reliably every single time there's an engagement. So Beasty needs to be careful about that. But yeah, Valdemar's base is completely open. We do have that tower on the gold, but it should be running out any second. Beasty's first gold already ran out. And Valdemar about to... oh no, they come back. There's only 5 spots in one tower, and we do have another casualty. Beasty already taking out 4 workers, but yeah, another priest trying to go for the southern relic.
Now, keep in mind, those priests are basically free. They spawn by themselves, and he's just going to be able to run those around and pick them up for free every single time. Samurai Micro, not where it needs to be if you want to keep all of them alive, but that knight is also in danger. 1 HP. The samurai wants to go for it, but he decides to go for the Vils instead.
And yeah, once again, They do draw straws, and there is Steve who draw the short one. Big engagement at the front, and JD's all the way out there. Immediately gets taken out. She's 2/3 towards level 3, but doesn't make it, and now she cannot... No, never mind. The cooldown is over. He could be rebuy her if he wants to, but doesn't have the gold right now. Gold is being constantly idled out. Beasty just keeps on cooking. We do have more Musha and more mounted samurais.
The problem is Beasty is now on that extra leg, and yes, Valdemar is too, but Beasty, I feel like he's just got the resources to handle this. Valdemar is committed to feudal, as we can see. He's getting siege engineering now, he keeps making units. I say this and then I see the knight production has stopped here for a second, so maybe going for that Royal Institute would not be the worst idea, trying to get those upgrades, but Spearman is the choice here, and it makes sense.
It's a really good choice. So the scary part about him is, if he takes a big engagement, if there's even like 2 mounted samurai left after all of his knights have been taken out by the Mushas, all of his archers are dead. So having some spears in the background just to, well, sit on the archers or even just tank a little bit more of the shots just makes sense. And they're much, much cheaper than the knights. Oh, but Beasty finds a nice timing here. Our tower is not finished. There is no defense here, and that will just be 5 dead villagers. 7 dead villagers.
Oh, and they're going down so quickly. The problem is the reinforcements on the other side, and they could catch out this army, but again, mobile army. They don't mind. They're just going to run away.
It's all cavalry, and Valdemar can just not keep up. A little bit of a distraction, Vololo once again. We're up to 3 relics in a second there. And Beasty is even trying to start her step and takes out 2 extra knights.
And that's the problem you're faced with right now. These Onamushas are basically horse archers out-kiting everything, and the archers can never catch up to try and take them down. Spearmen just losing their lives as they're running. He doesn't want to lose more knights here. JD, she's stepping very far forward, possibly hoping for a little bit of experience.
Very far away. I think Valdemar did a little bit of an oopsie there, but we do have Beasty just taking the fight directly. Valdemar doesn't want it. Spears are all taken out. And we do have another raid right under his TC. This is starting to look real grim. Gold is being attacked again by more Onamusha on the left side.
Now, with Beasty's army being so mobile, he's just doing everything from all the fronts, and it doesn't feel like Valdemar knows when he needs to connect. This is probably one of the only times he has a chance of winning this fight with the army being split, but you can see it has been called. Beasty taking the 3-0, and Valdemar will be dropping down to his group's, in essence, loser bracket. Beasty, though, he's got another match today, as far as I know. Winner matches do get played for the rest of the day, so Valdemar needs to think about his match upcoming, most likely tomorrow, right?
Most likely tomorrow, yes. We will be having the winners bracket matches after the second opening match in the Group B. And yeah, look at him. Yeah, he's just mentally going through the game. Beasty though, super relaxed, just won convincingly.
Yeah. See, this is not a bad thing for Valdemar. Valdemar is now getting that experience that he needs on stage where there's a crowd, and he's doing an amazing job at just being, putting that presence down. We saw him raiding. We saw him doing amazing things against a player who's much, much higher rated. So already an unfavorable matchup for Valdemar, but he's showing us he's got the teeth. And I think this is going to spell some trouble for his opponents going forward. So really hoping to see Valdemar kick some butt in the lower bracket. Well, the graph is here to tell us a story, and the story is about a French army that eventually died.
Yeah, it's just the French are looking for that big push, that big fight. You just want to go in the base and end it, because you're staying feudal, right? You need to punish your opponent for their greed, and well, he just never could find it.
Oh, I do believe we have a guest here joining us right now, Mr. Beasty Cutie. Come and take my headset, sir.
Hello.
Welcome in.
Thank you.
Are we good on sound? We should be good on sound. Perfect. First, well, congratulations on your
Thank you.
Are we hiding?
No, I'm just trying to fit into the camera, but
all right.
There we go.
Very convincing series against Valdemar. It was a joy to watch. I have to ask: Do you already have prior stage experience outside of Red Bull?
Yeah. So I mean, I've competed in StarCraft 2 for a while, so I didn't do too well on those lands, but yeah, I've had years of experience, and you know, it's completely different when you play on land and when you play online, so I think a lot of these guys don't have too much experience playing here.
Yeah, I think it's the second time for Valdemar. He was just at King of the North, and other than that, like you can see the pressure getting to some people more than others, but I think he did it really well. Especially on the Ayyubid game, where I saw your Mongol strategy against it. Did you just plan as soon as you see the Castle Age attempt to just take him out of the water? Was that premeditated, or was it just a spur of the moment?
I mean, I think on that map you gotta fight over water. I was actually thinking about giving up and just going trade, but in the end I kind of decided to just commit fully on water, and I kept getting like docks more and more up, arrow slits, and he kind of was like in the corner. So I felt like if I get some good demo shots, it's probably going to be over for the water.
When he was huddled in the corner, it was horrible to watch, just 5 hulks disappearing.
Or good. Yeah, really good to watch. Yeah, depending what you like, yeah.
War crimes have been witnessed.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling going forward in this group that you're in right now, in the winners bracket? Are you feeling confident to beat Demu or Baltune?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a good match, I think, either way. A lot of it comes down to like which civs you get and how well we play, how well they play, right, in general. So I'm pretty confident I'll advance the group. We'll see if it's gonna be today or another day.
Yeah. Well, do we actually have information about the second match that is going on during this stage match? And we're looking at it, and Demo actually taking it he did not take it yet, sorry. Third game's going on. Baltune is under pressure right now. I feel reminded of King of the North just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think Demo is the favorite, so I guess it would make sense. So there's probably going to be a Beasty versus Demo in there, so we'll see how that one goes. But in general, I feel pretty confident, so my goal is to win the tournament, so shouldn't be scared of the group stage.
Who are you most scared of?
I mean, Louis is probably the highest level player, right? So I'm really excited to play him eventually, maybe in semifinals or finals, without the lag.
Yeah, will this be the first time anyone ever faces Louis without 200 ping?
Yes. So I think it's his first like LAN, right? So we're actually going to play against Louis with no delay, so that's going to be an experience. It's going to be a good one or a bad one, I guess we'll see.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thanks for playing, and we'll see you later in the winners match.
Thank you.